Good day, and welcome to another episode of Myths and Moments. Today, we step into the streets, not just of today's world, but of the past. From France to Iran, Sudan to the US, the world is rising. Protests are erupting across continents, demanding justice, reform, and revolution. But here's the real question. Has history seen this before? And if so, what does it tell us now? Let's take a journey through time to understand how today's protests echo revolutions, uprisings, and resistance movements that reshaped nations.
In just the last 2 years, we've seen mass protests triggered by a range of issues. Police brutality, economic injustice, dictatorship, climate inaction, and more.
While each protest may seem isolated, they're part of a much bigger pattern. What we're witnessing is not just unrest, it's history repeating itself. In 2024, protests in Iran sparked over women's rights and civil freedom. France saw mass worker strikes and demonstrations over pension reforms. Sudan's streets filled with resistance against military rule. The U.S. continued seeing protests over racial injustice and political polarization. This isn't new. Every great societal shift has come after pressure from below, by the people.
Let's travel back. The French Revolution, 1789. Angry about poverty, rising costs, and monarchy, the people took to the streets. The outcome? The collapse of a centuries-old regime and a blueprint for democracy. The U.S. Civil Rights Movement, 1950s to 60s. Sparked by injustice and racism, peaceful and powerful protests led by figures like Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. led to legislation that redefined American civil life. The Arab Spring, 2010 to 2012. It began with a fruit vendor in Tunisia and sparked revolutions across the Middle East. Some governments fell, others doubled down, but a region was forever changed. History doesn't repeat itself, but it often rhymes. Mark Twain.
Why do people protest? History tells us three things.
Pressure creates policy. Protests force leaders to respond. They build community. Movements create unity. They shape narratives. Protests redefine how history is told. Protest is a form of memory-making, says Dr. Ella T. Stewart. It tells future generations what mattered and who dared to speak up. So what makes today different? Technology. Protests go viral in seconds. Youth-led energy. Gen Z and millennials are leading. Intersectionality. Causes are linked. Climate, race, freedom. This generation isn't just asking for change, they're demanding transformation. Professor I.O.B. Nkrumah. History speaks to us if we're willing to listen. Today's protests echo the cries of yesterday's revolutions. They remind us that injustice, once ignored, will always find a voice. So whether you're marching, learning, or sharing, remember, every moment we live today is tomorrow's history.
If you found this video insightful, give it a thumbs up, share it with a friend, and subscribe to Myths and Moments for more powerful stories from the past that speak to our present. Drop a comment below. Which protest in history do you think changed the world the most? Let's learn from each other.